Today we're going to be asking the question, who is the best Ghostface killer? Well, let's talk about that. Greetings everyone, my name is Nightshade, this is The Night Shift, a home for all things spooky, and today we're going to be ranking every single one of the Ghostface killers. Now there have been many Ghostface killers before, however, not all of them were created equal. Some of them are the most brutal killers in the entire franchise, and others just kinda suck. So I think it's time we take all of the Ghostface killers, put them into a list, and rank which one is the worst and which one is the best. Now, before we get into the ranking itself, I just want to let you know that this is based on my personal preferences. We are not actually going to look at any data for like body counts or anything like that. I'm not really going to be taking that into consideration. I mean, I guess a little bit of that is going to be taken into consideration, but that's not the main purpose, the main focus. This is very much a subjective list based on my own personal feelings towards these characters. So if you disagree with my personal opinions, that's perfectly fine. These are just my opinions, and I'm putting them out there for other people to compare and contrast. Speaking of which, if you have a list of your own, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I do look forward to seeing everybody else's picks for their number one favorite Ghostface. So if you don't even want to do a full list and just let me know who your favorite Ghostface of all time is, let me know in the comments below. I look forward to reading them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the ranking. In 13th place, dead last, is Quinn Bailey. I'm not really a fan of fake out death Ghostfaces, and I'm also not a fan of people being super annoying whenever they become revealed as a Ghostface killer. And she is both of those. And I mean, I guess technically she's not even really a Ghostface killer at all because she doesn't kill anybody. So we do know that she attacked Gail in her apartment and she attacked Mindy on the train, the subway. And neither one of those people died. And I mean, technically to be a Ghostface killer, you have to be a Ghostface killer. It's in the name. And she's more of a Ghostface attacker, a Ghostface wounder, a Ghostface waster of time, basically. What's up, everybody? I realized that I done goofed. She actually kills Gail's boyfriend, so she does have one kill, but that doesn't change my ranking. I just had to make a quick little video, you know, kind of righting that wrong there. So she is a Ghostface killer, technically, but she still sucks. Anyways, back to the video. So she's definitely taking the last place spot because, I mean, one, she didn't kill anybody. Two, she very much annoyed me whenever it was revealed that she was a Ghostface killer. So up next on my list, in 12th place, we have Ethan Landry. I honestly liked Ethan's character up until the point that he was revealed to be a Ghostface killer. And then the fatal mistake that they made for this character is making him super cringe, super annoying, and they tried too hard to channel Matthew Lillard, and I cannot stand that. Like, it's unwarranted. It's very much unwarranted. I've said it before and I will say it again. You know, Matthew Lillard's Stu Macher was already pretty unhinged as a character throughout the entire movie. So whenever he goes full out psychopath, it feels warranted. Ethan Landry, on the other hand, was very timid, very calm, very nervous, very shy as a character throughout the entire film. When it's revealed that he's a Ghostface killer, however, he became super cringe and super annoying, for that matter.
Now she's finally starting to get it.
I don't know, it's just, it doesn't feel right to me to have somebody that was cool, calm, and timid turn into a complete fucking nut job that is trying way too hard to be Stu Macher, like, way too hard to be Stu Macher.
I've always wanted to stick something in you, Tara. I always had a thing for you, Sid.
And is just an overall annoying character after his reveal. So yeah, in 12th place, it's going to have to go to Ethan Landry. And up next, in 11th place, we have yet another Ghostface killer from Scream 6, which is Jason Carvey. And you know it's pretty bad whenever the Ghostface that only got maybe 10 minutes of screen time in the opening of your film does better than the rest of the Ghostfaces in that film. It's probably saying something. But I mean, he did get a kill. He lured Samara Weaving's character out into the middle of an alleyway to get murdered. However outlandish that kill actually is, but I mean, it's still a fun little cat and mouse, you know, situation to begin with anyways. So I mean, for that, you know, he's definitely got to go above Ethan and Quinn for sure, because they're just terrible characters. So up next in 10th place, we have Amber from Scream 5. And she's honestly one of my least likable characters in the franchise as well. Like, she's just been a bitch the entire film. She's just an asshole of a character, and I don't like her. And I like her even less whenever she's revealed to be Ghostface, because again, we have somebody that's trying too hard to be Stu Macher when it is completely undeserved to be that unhinged. Even with all the spitting of the mouth and everything like that, it's just, it's not good.
I can't believe I get to do you both. No one's gonna save this time. Your story's over.
And before Scream 6 came out, she was the #1 slot for worst Ghostface character, and she's probably in the running for worst character of the franchise. She's definitely not the worst character of the franchise, but she's one of the most unlikable people in the entire franchise, and I don't like her. I don't like her. So up next in 9th place, and I know this is going to rile a few feathers, but I mean, this is just my personal preference. We have Roman Bridger. Now, I will commend Roman Bridger for being the only Ghostface to go at it alone. Zero backup, solo, dolo. However, he's got some of the least creative kills and least brutal kills in the franchise, and he's got the unfortunate title of being in Scream 3. Again, that's not my favorite Scream movie at all. It's actually my least favorite Scream movie. And that movie is relatively bloodless, so I mean, I'm taking that into consideration here because, again, all the kills in this film, with the exception of blowing up the house, which, very far-fetched to make that happen, but it is what it is. Very far-fetched, and that's the only creative kill in the film. And also, he's another fake-out death Ghostface killer reveal, which is not fun. Part of the fun for me for a Scream film is being able to possibly guess who the killer is before the killer is actually revealed. And when your only Ghostface is a fake-out death, right at the beginning of the third act, it doesn't make for a good time. It feels like a cop-out. It feels cheap. And I know Roman has his cult following of fans out there now, and, I respect you guys for having him as your favorite. He's just not my favorite. Alright? Up next, in 8th place, we have Charlie from Scream 4. Now, the reason he's so low on a list from a movie that I love very much is because he's simply just an attack dog. He's a very violent attack dog that's got some really cool kills, but he's an attack dog nonetheless. He's just a pawn in a bigger plan. And unfortunately, he's just kind of blinded by love because he has a huge love for Jill, and it blinds him to the fact that he is definitely going to get double-crossed. And then he gets stabbed in the heart, which I do find to be fitting for a kill for him because, his heart was the main thing that he was killing for, and it only makes sense that the one that he loves stabs him in the heart and kills him that way. So, I mean, it's a little poetic. But yeah, Charlie for me, number 8. So in 7th place, we have Mickey Altieri. Now, the main reason he is where he's at on this list is simply because I think his motive is dumb.
I'm gonna blame the movies.
He's got the majority kills in this movie, with the exception of Randy being killed. He's killed everybody else. So, I mean, he was a pretty efficient killer. However, whenever he's revealed and it's, I'm going to blame the movies, I want to get caught, I'm going to take this to court. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a good enough motive for him to be a Ghostface killer. And so that's the main reason that he's so low on my list, because I just don't like his motives. Sorry, Mickey. Alright, so my camera overheated, so I think we were, what was the last one we did? Mickey. Alright, so in 6th place, we have Richie Kirsch. Now, Richie has 2 of some of my all-time favorite kills in the entire franchise. The neck stab in the parking lot, as well as Wes's jugular stab to the neck. Now, I'm not too crazy about the motives, wanting to have another stab film based off of real-life events. That's the entire motive that he had for his Ghostface killing spree. But I do like the way that he kills, and I do like the way that he portrays the Ghostface character. And I also like his Ghostface's robe. It's a very tattered and torn, disheveled cloak, and yeah, I'm just a sucker for stuff like that. But even though he's got some of my favorite kills, he has a really cool look about his Ghostface costume. The motive is going to knock him down a few pegs and keep him in the midway point on this list. So up next in 5th place, we have Detective Wayne Bailey. Now, as much shit as I've talked on Scream 6 for the ending reveal, the Ghostface killer in that film is phenomenal. And it would stand to reason that Detective Wayne Bailey got a lot of the coolest kills, the actual kills in this film. Like, the motivation for wanting to kill Sam and Tara because he's avenging the loss of his son, that's a very good reason to want to kill. I mean, not a good reason to want to kill anybody, but, you know, it's a decent enough reason for a psychopath to want to get vengeance. I mean, we've seen it before with Nancy Loomis. And for a psycho killer, that is a justifiable reason to go off the deep end and kill everybody that he can that was at fault for killing his son. So the motivation is there. Like, yeah, he was super cringy as he was revealed to be the Ghostface, but at the same time, he got some cool kills. I feel like he was the one that did the shotgun kill. And, you know, bonus points go to the overall look of the character. I think the age mask is a fantastic mask in this film. So he's definitely got a good-looking ghost face. He's definitely a brutal ghost face. The motivation for wanting to kill the Carpenter sisters makes sense as far as killers' motivations go. For all those reasons, he's going to make it into the number 5 slot on my list. I'm curious as to where you guys will put Wayne Bailey. I'm sure some of you will put him in 1st place, maybe. Who knows? Let me know in the comments below. Up next at number 4, we have Stu Macher. Now, Stu is definitely one of the fan favorites, definitely one of the all-time favorites in the franchise. Everybody that goes over the top is definitely modeled after Stu Macher. Everybody wants to be Stu Macher because Matthew Lillard put out a hell of a performance as Stu Macher, and everybody else has channeled sort of that unhinged energy. Like, he was unhinged throughout that entire film. He was over the top, so, you know, whenever he was revealed as a Ghostface killer, it made sense that he would be that much more batshit. However, you know, everybody else, it feels unjustified, but, you know, with Matthew Lillard and his performance as Stu Macher, it's where it needed to be, and it was perfect the way that it was. Now, the reason that he's not higher on the list as much as I wanted to put him higher on the list, you know, he is just an attack dog. He's Billy's puppet in this whole big grand scheme plan thing. And it's scary that he has no motivation. It's pretty cool that there's no motivation. He's just an attack dog. However, because other Ghostfaces have motivations for why they're doing what they're doing, unfortunately, it's going to put Stu Macher in 4th place. So up next, in 3rd place, we have Nancy Loomis. Much like Wayne Bailey, Nancy Loomis's actions feel a little bit more justified than some of the other Ghostface killers. She's avenging the loss of her son, and I mean, I feel like most parents would be motivated to do much the same if something happened to their child. And I mean, I'm not a parent. I have a dog that I would commit war crimes for if anybody brought any harm to my dog. I know that's not the same. Like, a parent's love is so much more than that. So, you know, it only feels natural that if somebody kills your son, you would want to kill them. And even though she only technically got 1 kill, I guess, and that would be Randy, you know, the fact that she's the one that formulated this huge plan, had Mickey do all of the heavy lifting, all of the dirty work, came up with the Debbie Salt persona, and was kind of hiding in plain sight. Seeing that her plan was being executed masterfully, and her plan was to double-cross Mickey and, get away with the whole thing scot-free. She had a solid plan, she had solid motivation, and she has one of the coolest masks in the franchise, which is the RDS mask. For all of those reasons, you know, she's definitely getting my 3rd spot. Up next, in spot number 2, we have Jill Roberts. And the reason that Jill is so high on my list is because she almost got away with her plan. Like, if she would have double tapped Sydney and not mentioned the matching wounds to Dewey, she would have got away with the whole thing. Her plan was to murder a bunch of people, pretend that she was attacked by the killer, and in doing so, being the sole survivor of this, she would have gotten famous simply for surviving something that she didn't actually survive. She orchestrated it herself. Which, whenever that movie came out, it sounded a little over the top, sure. However, if you heard that story in a true crime podcast as something that really happened, nowadays, that sounds absolutely believable. So whenever you look at it from that aspect, like, yeah, this is something that somebody nowadays could do, you know, murder to become famous, it sounds feasible. And again, like I said, she almost got away with it. Like if Sydney had not pulled through, and I mean, I'm sure she could have pulled something out of her ass, you know, talking about Gail's wounds or whatever. Yeah, she definitely would have gotten away with it. She was the only Ghostface that got very close to succeeding in their plan. However, that plan was foiled because Sydney is, you know, an unstoppable Ghostface killing machine. Yeah, Joe Roberts is in my second place, which means obviously in my first place slot we have Billy Loomis, the one that started it all. But Nightshade, it was actually Roman Bridger that started this whole thing. You remember in Scream 3 when they said? Even in that case, you know, like Roman Bridger just put the idea in his head, gave him the idea of having a fall guy. It took Billy Loomis's own motivation to be able to do it himself. Like, Scream wouldn't have happened had Billy Loomis not gone through and done it himself. He is the one that started the killing spree. And Billy is just my personal favorite Ghostface of all time, and I don't see that ever changing because this is the movie, again, that got me into horror. This is the very first horror movie that I watched front to back. The Ghostface Billy reveal was amazing to me whenever I was a kid, and it's still amazing to me now. And the whole entire franchise is predicated on the fact that Billy Loomis grabbed a Ghostface mask and the Ghostface costume and wanted to start these killings himself. So, like, if it wasn't for Billy Loomis, we wouldn't have any other Ghostface killers. So, I mean, you know, don't fuck with the original. This is the original Ghostface, and he's the best Ghostface in my opinion, and I'm sticking with that. So even with the retcon in Scream 3, where, you know, Roman Bridger put the idea in Billy's head, it's still Billy that got the Ghostface outfit, got the knife, you know, set the tone for the rest of the Ghostface killings with, you know, the what's your favorite scary movie. That's all Billy. Like, you cannot take that credit away from Billy. That was all his idea. That was all his plan. So even with the retcon with Roman Bridger, it was still all, you know, the whole premise was still set up by Billy, and if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have the rest of the franchise. So that's my list, and I'm sticking to it. If you guys want to leave your rankings in the comments below, I highly recommend that you do so. And that's just gonna about do it for me. If you liked the video, let me know by leaving me a like. Comment down below what you want to see on the channel next. I will do my best to accommodate. I really will. And until next time, my name is Nightshade. This has been The Night Shift, and I will see you in the next video. Stay spooky, my friends.